Not many expected the OnePlus 5 to have a rival when it entered the Indian market earlier this year. However, Honor introduced the 8 Pro in order to cement their place on Indian soil, and it did exactly what was expected. Now we have tight competition between the OnePlus 5T and the Honor View 10. Although View 10 pricing is yet to be announced, it seems capable of giving the 5T a run for its money. This is Sandeep from Rev Atlas. Let's compare these two devices to see what they bring to a table. In terms of design, these two newcomers resemble their predecessors quite a bit. They use the older designs as a reference and then refine them further to create great build quality and a premium feeling. In terms of physical footprint, these two devices are nearly the same, with the View 10 being a hair taller than the 5T. Despite the View 10 being thinner at 7mm, the tapering edges on the 5T make it seem thinner than its 7.3mm frame. The View 10 has uniform thickness throughout the body and more chunkier sides, which give it a better grip, but I can see many people preferring the 5T's curved pillow back as well. The 5T is heavier than its predecessor but lighter than the View 10, which is in turn lighter than the 8 Pro. Despite the relatively smaller sizes, both these phones pack in 6-inch displays with an aspect ratio of 18:9 and Full HD Plus 2160 by 1080 pixels of resolution. Actually, the 5T is 6.01 inches while the View 10 is 5.99 inches if we are being precise, but it makes no difference whatsoever in terms of usability. However, the OnePlus 5T is our display of choice since it is an AMOLED unit with better sunlight legibility, contrast ratio and popping colors. Don't get me wrong, the View 10 display is great, especially for an IPS panel, but it doesn't hold a candle in front of the 5T display. The 5T display is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 5, while Honor hasn't disclosed what glass it has used for the View 10 yet. The 5T is powered by a Snapdragon 835 chipset, while the View 10 gets a homegrown Kirin 970 chipset, both of which are octa-core processors. Performance-wise, they are quite close to each other when it comes to daily use, multitasking, etc. But the OnePlus 5T has the obvious advantage when it comes to heavy loads, since it is also available in an 8GB RAM variant and the overall UI is lighter and closer to stock Android. The View 10 performs great with 6GB of RAM as well, but doesn't seem as fast as the 5T. However, it still is one of the best we've seen this year, and we'll be doing a full speed test between the two devices soon, so please do stay tuned for that. Fingerprint scanner is really fast on the View 10, which is mounted up front and also doubles up as a home button. However, that ceramic fingerprint scanner on the 5T that's located at the back definitely takes the cake in terms of accuracy and speed. The 5T is still one of the fastest in terms of fingerprint recognition, and it also has facial recognition that can be used to unlock the phone, as we demonstrated in a video earlier. It's almost as secure and perhaps even faster than the iPhone 10. The View 10 has facial recognition but is limited to revealing just the notifications on the lock screen for now. The 5T gets either 6 or 8GB of RAM with 64 or 128GB of storage respectively, while the View 10 gets a mix with 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. The 5T does support dual SIMs but no expandable storage. The View 10 on the other hand gets expandable storage as well as support for dual SIM 4G LTE and dual VoLTE connectivity at the same time. I was able to successfully get my Vodafone and Jio SIM on 4G, and it also allows you to assign a default SIM for data and configure internet access during calls. The 5T and View 10 both have dual camera 16MP plus 20MP setups at the rear, but they have very different implementations. The 5T has a regular and low light camera combination, while the View 10has an RGB plus monochrome combination. In our experience so far, the View 10 seems better at photos, while the 5T has an edge in terms of video. Here are some shots that give you a quick idea on what to expect, and you can take a closer look at our detailed camera comparison as well for more details on the differences. They also have 13MP and 16MP f2 cameras at the front on the View 10 and 5T respectively. In terms of battery life, it would seem that numbers would lead us to the winner. However, that isn't the case. Despite the larger 3750 mAh battery, the View 10 has slightly inferior battery life. This could mostly be due to the heavier UI as well as IPS display as opposed to the AMOLED display and lighter UI on the 5T. We got around 6 to 6.5 hours of screen on time on the View 10, while the 5T gave us over 7 hours of screen on time. The View 10 also supports fast charging, however it isn't as fast as the dash charging on the 5T, which truly is a game changer. In both cases, you'll need to make use of the stock charger as well as cable to get the full charging speeds. It seems like both the phones have their own set of advantages and disadvantages. The 5T has a wonderful screen, brilliant fingerprint sensor, facial unlocking, great performance, and an almost stock Android UI to complement the great battery life and fast charging. The View 10 has superior build quality, arguably better looking design, dual 4G's functionality, expandable storage, and a better camera for photos. The main deciding factor would perhaps be the pricing, which will be announced soon, shortly followed by the release of the View 10. That's it for this video guys. You can purchase both the smartphones from the link in the description below. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next one.